The origin of Playing for Success was a conversation I had with my daughter, who at that time was in the last year of primary school, and I said to her one winter evening, what would it take to motivate all of the boys in your class to learn to read and write well? And she said, well, they probably all learn to read and write well if they learn to read and write at Arsenal.
In 1997, the government launched Playing for Success, a small educational initiative across a handful of Premier League clubs. The aim was to improve basic skills in literacy, numeracy and ICT, particularly among underachieving boys, through the magic of football. 10 years on, clubs throughout the sporting world have found a home with Playing for Success.
Looking back, it feels as if there should never have been any doubt that Playing for Success would work in Premier League clubs, which is of course where it started. But what I find has been really amazing about Playing for Success is how it's transferred so successfully to a range of other sports.
We knew that youngsters were often alienated from education. Their parents often hadn't had a great experience. So we were asking ourselves, how do we get youngsters who are not connected, who are not inspired, who are not actually feeling confident, to actually believe in themselves?
Achieving world-class educational outcomes is not just about the schools, it's about the schools and all the other major institutions in a society.
I think back in 1997 I could see straight away the brilliant simplicity.
It was quite revolutionary at those times. I don't think any of them, certainly none I knew, were actually hosting educational events.
I think what Playing for Success did, and did extremely well, was it showed how you could use the power of sport to engage people in learning.
It's changed the culture so that what was exceptional in 1997 is just part of what sports clubs do naturally now.
Never, ever, in my wildest dreams, thought it could touch so many people's lives and be so successful.
I came into the initiative late 1997. They asked me to write the first induction pack for a centre manager. What was this person we were going to appoint? We wanted a teacher who could work alone, that was going to be a janitor and be a head teacher and be their own advisor and their own biggest critic, as well as being charismatic in front of young people.
I started at the PFS Centre in Northampton actually. I sort of embraced the whole PFS thing, I really got it. And it gave me a bit of career guidance, so I went into teacher training, moved to Cornwall, so I'm the first, or one of the first free transfers, I think.
We're supposed to raise literacy, numeracy and ICT standards, but my main emphasis is on building the confidence of the children, because I think that has a lasting effect on their school education.
Every group of 15 children we get have different needs, and with the curriculum that we use here, with the personalised learning environment that we've tried to create, we can give those children the individualised kind of targets and the help that they need.
We're trying to get as few young people working with an adult as possible, so that they do get that individual attention that they can't get in the classroom, and that's no criticism of schools, but that's the joy of this scheme. And I think for some young people they don't get the opportunity to relate to adults in that way, so it opens up a whole new world for them.
And since I've been here, it's really helped me a lot. I was having a lot of problems. I wasn't getting along with the teachers and I wasn't doing well in the lessons. And like being with children, obviously, it stresses you out. But I've coped really well and I really like it here.
It's different like school because, well, you play games more than you do work in school, really.
In the games, we're not like playing just games that we don't learn anything. We play like numeracy games, or games with questions in them.
And don't forget, these are after school activities, they're not during the day. So you've got a lot of schools who've got children who've been at school since 8 o'clock, maybe a breakfast club, they've worked through till 3:30, and then they come into a PFS centre to do even more work.
A lot of the children we have at the study centre have never been to the National Stud or to a racecourse like this. A lot of them come from probably more socially deprived backgrounds, and every week they can't wait to come back, and at the end of sessions they don't want to go home.
They're enjoying it, they're having fun, and they're not even aware sometimes that the learning's taking place. And then when we go back to school, especially in things like numeracy and literacy, we can refer back to things that they've actually done here.
having established 150 centres in the UK, with more to come. Playing for Success has evolved beyond its football origins into Olympic and international sporting arenas.
And there's been an excellent PFS international link, which we're very proud to have been involved in since 2003. And we were paired up with Barcelona Football Club. We've had 4 exchange visits, and we've established our own website called OLA, which is a cultural appreciation website between Liverpool and Barcelona.
In getting the successful bid for the 2012 Games, we recognised we could actually have an Olympic centre.
What I see looking in are inspirational people, incredibly committed to giving better educational opportunities and achievement for young people. And I think that's impressed people who are involved in the Olympics and Paralympic Games. What they've found is they're actually doing the Games in an environment where people want to grab those opportunities.
We went to Australia to see the Olympics village there, to develop our own vision for what could happen in Newham.
And that's a legacy, if you like, of the 10 years of Playing for Success. When they look back in 2020, 2025, they're saying, wow, the Olympics was great, but what happened afterwards was even better.
But sometimes growth calls for new and innovative ways to fund and maintain projects.
Demographics of Cornwall is very difficult, so one way we could cope with this was actually establishing a charity that would enable a rollout to sort of hard to reach areas where I can't reach from the Pirates because we're right down 7 miles from Land's End at Penzance.
The charity then needed a brand, so we came up with a logo. I happened to be going to the North Pole, so we launched it up there, and then the next step was I got this Trimaran and we did a race round Britain.
It's worked really well, and we're really excited about where we're going with the charity.
The techniques and methods developed in Playing for Success are now finding a place in mainstream schooling.
It should be the Trojan horse of education, and the Double Club, for me, I think, is one of the most exciting outcomes.
Arsenal started the Double Club in 1998. There's no stigma that they're doing a class because of their weaker literacy and numeracy skills. They're actually proud to be doing an Arsenal project and to get a game of football afterwards and some training by, in our case, an Arsenal coach. We're working currently with 14 other clubs, not all football, for them to develop double clubs in different parts of the country.
In Playing for Success, you can experiment with the frontiers of education.
I think the innovation that's come out of it is because people weren't constrained, if you like, by the normality of a school. They actually got outside the box.
I think the feedback that actually comes from the pupils and the teachers is the first measure, and a very, very good measure. It does make a major impact. Children who perhaps don't enjoy school really start to come out of their shells and have a fantastic time when they're with us. And if you only reach out to the occasional child and make a difference, then you feel it's worthwhile.
It's incredible how far we've come in the last 10 years, with over 250,000 children having benefited from Playing for Success so far.
Having been involved right at the start in 1997, what am I proudest of? The fact that in 2007 we're celebrating the growth and the success of the scheme, and it's still with us and still growing a decade on.
But I believe in many ways we've only scratched the surface. I think Playing for Success can go on to achieve even more, to reach more young people and involve more sports, and I wish it every success.
To laugh often and much.
To win the respect of intelligent people.
And the affection of children.
To earn the appreciation of honest critics.
And endure the betrayal of false friends.
To appreciate beauty. To find the best in others.
To leave the world a bit better.
Whether by
a healthy child, a garden patch,
or a redeemed social condition.
To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived.
This is to have succeeded.